Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
Hi, this is the voice from Drunken Lullabies. Do you like craft beer, indie music, pop culture, pro wrestling, and pure juvenile hijinks? Then you will love Drunken Lullabies on the FCF Network. We have new episodes every Sunday, so you can spend the Sabbath getting drunk with us. So join me and my co-host Beer Mansky and our rotating cast of characters as we drink amazing beer, listen to bands we think you need to know, and laugh our asses off. Like Elvis said, 10,000 drunkomaniacs can't be wrong. Check us out on all podcast platforms and at fcfnetwork.com. May your music be loud and your beers be cold.
And welcome back to the Metal Hand of God podcast. Not only are we the most dangerous podcast on the internet, but we are the fastest growing fan base around. I am your host, Wayne, and these two fine gentlemen are...
Just another brown Nazi.
Hey, another RumGuy.
Yeah! RumGuy is back on the show. Hey, Rum, how you been?
I have been really tired. Really tired. Like Martin tired.
Like Martin Lawrence?
Like Mart.
Oh.
You Kmart tired. Kmart tired.
Kmart. What?
I just call him Kmart. Mart from the UK.
You know what? I'll call him Kmart now too.
That's yeah, that's a good one. Kmart.
Yeah, that's a street name, Kmart.
Well,
you got a rap name.
Yeah, street name Kmart.
Yo, it's just Kmart.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's also a shitty place to shop.
But they do have layaway.
They do, and they're one of the only stores left.
Yeah. One of the first stores to ever have a Little Caesars inside.
If you can actually find one, store Kmart nowadays.
What? Yeah. Well, first, it's pretty easy to find a Kmart here in New Orleans.
Not here.
Second, Rum, do you have like a list of like places that had Little Caesars in them?
No, I just remember I have a part-time. I'm part-time good with remembering long-term things, like kind of like.
I don't know what that statement was, but it was beautiful.
Idyllic memory. What is it called?
Idyllic.
You know that.
Idyllic, yeah.
Yeah, but it's only half the time.
I think you misused that word, but
Sure.
But why would specifically like why would Little Caesars be like the stick in your craw?
Because maybe he's a big fucking fan of Little Caesars, man.
Yeah, well, when I was a little kid, they didn't have a lot of Little Caesars. And
right.
The only one that was there was in Kmart.
See?
First time I ever had Little Caesars was in Kmart.
I don't act like I'm attacking Rum. I'm just
I feel attacked. I feel like you're persecuting me, and I don't like it. Just because I'm a rum guy.
It's because I'm a Nazi, Rum. That's all we do.
Oh my God, you're a Nazi too.
Yes. Oh, they're all over these days. So yeah, of course he is.
Oh my God.
Oh well. So before we delve into all the Nazism, which I'm sure it's going to happen.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So Rum just brought up a weird thing. where do you like? What's the first fast food restaurant do you remember eating at?
First fast food, like popular chain fast food.
Yeah. Like something everyone's had, you know. Like besides
Debbie. Whoa.
Like the first time I remember, like I really remember eating Taco Bell, like at this little bitty Taco Bell place it's no longer there anymore. But like I remember their menu being so much better than it is now.
Everything was better.
Like I mean it. And it wasn't like super fast food, you know, because it was like the only fucking Taco Bell in this area at the time.
Well, they just had slower people working.
Yeah, maybe. But
no, this was actually a place from Mexico.
Right.
He was there in the 1870s when they.
Exactly. Remember Pancho Villa when we called your wife up at 4:00 in the fucking morning to try to remember that name?
Yeah.
That was fucking hysterical. She was pissed.
Yeah, she was. Were we drinking?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can't remember. I don't do it very often, so that could have been one of those times.
Yeah, I like that. Like, yeah. Were we drinking? No. You? No.
Why
would you be drinking?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think the first fast food place I remember eating at was probably McDonald's.
Okay.
I just was, but I only could go there. You know, we only went to McDonald's or something like that if I got an A on a report card.
So you went once.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a long time ago.
And that was the last time you got an A in gym.
The little cheeseburger, you know, the little kid cheeseburger with the minced onions.
Oh yeah, those are incredible.
Oh, those are like the best, man. You could you could eat like a bag of those.
Right, but you know those were like a quarter back then. Now they're like fucking $12.
Now a quarter. They were 99 cents when I was eating them.
Don't lie.
They came in a Happy Meal for $2.49.
Don't lie. How do you remember? You were a fucking kid. You don't even know what
that part-time long-term memory shit I was telling
Right,
you about.
Sure. Okay. Actually, when we were younger, they were actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the cheapest they were was 75 cents. And then and Paul from my work, he told me that when he was a little kid, they were a quarter.
Oh wow!
And he's like, I think he's like 16 years older than us, something like that.
So he's 36.
I do too.
Yeah.
Adam, what about you?
I have no fucking clue. Why would I remember what the first fast food place I went to?
Because it was a big deal as a child.
I mean, when they would do the McDonald's birthday parties, that was a big deal. But
I'm so sorry, Mr. Moneybags. We didn't all get to go to McDonald's every fucking week.
I mean, I'm sorry too. Like, what a sad childhood you must have had.
You know?
I mean,
I told you the time I got locked in the McDonald's freezer, right?
No,
but we need to know.
I thought I told you that. I was sitting there thinking about it. No. You brought up the birthday parties thing. You know, we used to have those McDonald's birthday parties, and they would, you know, everybody, then at least the ones I went to 2 different McDonald's birthday parties. And the one they got the tour, like they take you behind the counters, and this is where everything's made, and this is our freezers and everything like that. But we all went into the freezer to see. It was like, oh wow, it's really cold in here. And then
dick.
Then there was like 15 of us, and we all. But I was like, oh cool, there's these big frozen boxes of patties. That was cool. So I was like, I'm just gonna take one. So I wanted to take one of the frozen patties with me because I figured I could slide it in my burger and it would warm up, so I'd have like a double burger.
His burger was his ass.
So it's that Nazi. So, so I was doing that, but they closed the door on me and I couldn't get out because I couldn't reach the panic button. So I was in there yelling for about 10 minutes. It was very cold. I was 8. I was 8 years old.
This could only happen to you, Ron.
But because of that accident that happened, I got a certificate signed by the manager. For 1 year, I could come into that store anytime and get a free Happy Meal.
Wait a minute. Let's back this story up a little bit. So you were an 8-year-old thief who stupidly got himself locked in a freezer, and you got rewarded for it.
Well, it wasn't really. I didn't know what I thought it was just a burger. I was going to get another burger anyway. I just figured I'd take a frozen one with me.
Yes.
Not the point, Adam. Not the point.
Yes. The answer to that is yes. He was a dumbass kid who was trying to steal something, but then instead got fucking a year's worth of Happy Meals for free.
I mean, that's the part that I'm confused by. It's not the part where he decided.
Well, I didn't tell him I was stealing a hamburger.
Right.
That'd be dumb. That'd be dumb, Adam. I was like, I was stealing a hamburger and I got it. No.
You're right.
It's like, you just locked me in. I can't get out.
You cry like a little bitch until you get free shit.
Like I just wanted a Happy Meal and a good time and meet Grimace. That's it. Plus, it was okay if the Hamburglar did it.
Right.
So shut up.
Back to him pulling his dick out. Wow. That is a fascinating story, Rum, and one again that can only happen to you.
Are you guys familiar with?
Yeah, we've met.
Bollinger Shipyard.
I thought that was funny, Rum.
No, that was good, Rum. That was good. I was just ignoring you. I was completely ignoring you.
Oh, good time.
I'm trying to do something good here, and you motherfuckers
Bollinger Shipyard?
Bollinger Shipyard.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
I am, no.
Well, it is a shipyard out in somewhere in the swamps, out yonder, out here.
Are you familiar with Bollinger Shipyard?
I'm familiar with some of the people who work there.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm giving these guys a shout out because we have several subscribers from that place.
Hey!
That listen to us as of recently.
Very
so
cool.
I want to give a shout out to the night crew over there, the guys out there they're working their ass off welding and God knows what the fuck they're doing. Maybe they might be playing with each other's dicks. I don't know. But
I doubt it.
But
you don't do that on the night shift.
Oh.
I'm gonna recommend something to our friends at Bollinger Shitheads. Whatever it is.
Shipyard. Come on.
Don't pull your dicks out while you're welding. That should be in page 1 in the welding handbook.
It should be.
No dicks and flames.
That sounds like a Ying Vang Malmsteen album.
I was gonna say it sounds like a metal album. We're gonna play our first song from our new album, Dick and Flames.
Flames. Hey, I tell you what, welders, man, that's a lot of work.
It's a tough job, man.
You remember Aaron? You've talked to him at least. Aaron,
yes.
Wayne. Yeah, he is a welder, but he was in a welding accident about 9 months ago. I'm going to say, or close to a year now.
He had posted a video of him walking.
Yeah, this is the first time he's been able to walk without. His leg was crushed.
See, I was curious.
Close to amputee.
Yeah, I was curious because I didn't hear about him having the accident. I just saw the video of him walking, and I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah, they were unloading something very heavy. I guess a big block of steel on a forklift, and it got away from the forklift driver and crushed his leg up against the wall.
Jesus.
And that was it. I mean, he's got so many pins and needles, and it's taken so long for the bones to try to fuse together. And
well, I'm glad he's okay.
But yeah, he's doing good, and he wanted to tell everybody hi, by the way.
Yeah, he's a good kid, man. I always liked Aaron. He was really awesome to play video games with.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guys in Bollinger, man, they've been listening to us on the night shift. I appreciate
thank you guys.
All that support. They're out there, right? I believe they're welding Coast Guard ships is what they're doing right now.
Together. That would be funny. Then they can't go anywhere.
So yeah, thanks guys for listening, and then there's your shout out, and yeah, kick ass.
Maybe they go everywhere twice as fast now.
That's true, to get double engines.
Or maybe they're real dicks and they weld them together, but in opposite directions, so they just spin around.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wheel spinning around.
That would be awesome.
Well, that was a good shout out. Anyway, though,
Nazis?
What else is new in the world?
Nazis.
I shoot them in World War II games.
Nazis. I think this is all fucking insane, by the way. All this shit that's going on.
It's stupid.
I don't think it's insane. I think that's right. I think it's stupid. I think insanity gives it too much credit.
Well, what I'm saying is like all this, in my personal opinion, personal opinion, I believe that both sides are fucking wrong. They're both fucking ignorant, and they're fighting and causing all this bullshit. And it's just, to me personally, it's a waste of fucking time. There's
always, I don't know, it seems like there's one person behind a group of people yelling at it and trying to incite this to happen. You know what I mean? It has that type of feeling, like, I don't know. It's so stupid, and there's other things they need to be concerned with. I mean, let's get our priorities straight. I mean,
I know Adam's got some stuff to say, but just from my personal opinion, you got one group that shows up to start to do whatever they're doing, and then you have the other one that's basically antagonizing the other group. And then when the one group retaliates against the antagonizing ones, then everybody's bad because it don't make sense.
I just don't understand why someone thought that was a good idea to put them that close to each other.
Oh no, those people showed up out of the blue.
Oh, they showed up. Okay,
yeah.
I thought they both. There was, from the way I understood it, I thought one group had a permit, another group had a permit, and they decided to go to the same spot.
No, one group had the permit and the other one did not. They just showed up because they knew that group was coming.
Permit or no permit, it's whatever it is, it's all wrong. I mean, it is just all wrong. Let's kumbaya this shit and fucking hold hands, give each other a hug.
Oh, it's too late for that.
Candy or whatever, and fucking get over this. And let's focus on things that will help all of us in the United States, not one side or the other. Let's get a common ground. 1,000 points of light. There you go.
Not gonna happen. But Adam, I know you have some things to say about this, so go for it.
Well, I feel like as I get older, I think to myself more and more, if I'm one of the smart and rational people, we really are fucking doomed.
That's why I laughed.
I this morning I found myself yelling online at both John McCain and Chris Rock. I thought to myself, this could only be more random if Pauly Shore was out there doing the weasel.
Weasel.
And I really I was like, I'm taking a break from the internet again, because this, I can't take the level of stupidity that I've seen over the last, I actually took a break over the weekend from the internet.
Right.
I aside from Instagram, but Instagram, usually there's no politics on it. And I actually instituted a policy now where if I see the slightest political thing from anyone, I delete them. I'm like, that's not what this is for. It's Instagram. I want to see titties and I want to see pizza. And occasionally people post pictures of their kids. That's cool too. That's it. Titties, kids, and pizza, which again, could only be more random if Pauly Shore was in there somewhere. But I actually deleted 2 celebrities today. One of them is Haley Joel Osment's little sister, Emily Osment, who Rum will recognize from being on Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And she posted this picture of her jacket that I didn't quite pay attention to, but I was reading the inscription and said, "When people see me crying at Whole Foods, now I can just point to this to explain why I'm crying." And it was she had sewn the word impeach onto her jacket, basically implying the reason she's crying is because Donald Trump's president. I was like, you are a fucking moron. You're not crying at fucking Whole Foods. Shut the fuck up, So this is actually what, because, and I think it's important to explain, because I think a lot of people don't know, no offense, Ron, but you clearly didn't know what was going on exactly.
I've been trying to avoid it. Every time it came on the news, I turned it.
Well, I was, like I said, I was off of the internet, and I got a message on Twitter and I checked it, and I saw somebody tweeting about Charlottesville, Virginia, and Nazis, and I was like, I'm sure there's no Nazis, because that's my instant response now. It's if I see somebody oh, I hate Nazis, I'm like, it's probably not a real Nazi, because people don't really Nazi has become shorthand for Nazi, and racist are now shorthand for just I don't like you. You're either a racist or a Nazi. I've seen Jewish men get accused of being Nazis. And in fact, the whole Brown Führer thing is because someone called me a Nazi, to which my response was, they're letting brown people in now?
Right.
Like, what a crazy progressive, movement the Nazis are. I didn't know they were letting brown people in. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Just another nigga Nazi. Anyway, that's going to be my rap name, nigga Nazi.
I like that. It goes with Kmart and nigga Nazi in the house.
Yes.
In Kmart.
We would be a great rap group in the 80s. But so basically what happened was there were 3 groups of white supremacists. One actually was a group of Nazis. I don't know what the numbers were for each group. One was a group of Nazis. One was the Alt-Right, which is a white nationalist organization, which is very similar to white supremacists, but there's like certain political differences. But it's a white nationalist organization that recruits a lot of slow people who don't know what Alt-Right means. And they just think like, oh, I don't like the Republicans either. And that's not what it means.
I just thought that was a move that you did on the keyboard.
No, you're thinking of Control Alt-Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Control Alt Delete.
That's my shorthand for pulling up porn, actually. Nazi porn.
Yeah.
And then the third group was just a bunch of different groups of actual white supremacists, and which again differentiates from Nazis. And I'll get to that in a second. And then the counter protesters that you keep hearing people, and this is what's been pissing me off. The counter protesters that people have been praising, like people think like, oh, like, and that's part of the problem with the whole, like, everyone's a Nazi thing is like, people are like, oh, if you show up and you're fighting Nazis, you're one of the good guys.
No,
Antifa are not good guys. In fact, from what I understand, Antifa actually started that fight.
They did.
Now, it was one of the white supremacists who ran over 20 of them. And I hope that guy, I don't hope he rots in jail. I hope they just give him the death penalty.
I do too. I don't think that was fucking ridiculous. I mean, I watched the video. It's terrible.
I didn't watch the video. I don't need to know. I know 19 people were injured and 1 woman was killed.
1 lost her life.
And then I saw that stupid, like, that white supremacist website. It might be an alt-right website, but the Daily Stormer was A, calling her like a whore and saying why she deserved to die, and
Jesus.
Then B, after GoDaddy was hosting their site, and they said you violated our terms of service and we're taking you off. And like since then they've been trying to organize a rally for her funeral to fuck up her funeral. So again, I'm all for like calling out Antifa and putting them in jail, but no, you don't show up to someone's funeral and that's fucking that was murdered by one of your people, by the way. Anyway,
that's fucking crazy, dude.
But I think what most people think what happened there, I think most people think a bunch of Nazis showed up and started rioting.
Well, that's what the news and all those people are leading you to believe.
Right, because they sympathize with Antifa.
Symbolize it, baby.
Yeah,
and
tell them how it is.
Gives them, because the president of the United States doesn't know how to shut the fuck up or just speak plainly. Mm-hmm. It gives them an axe to swing at him and say like, well, he doesn't call them out, which he did eventually. But so one of the things that I was yelling at people for, including John McCain and Chris Rock, was like, Chris Rock was like, it don't matter if they're all Nazis or not. Like, if one person hangs out with like 11 Nazis, then there's just 12 Nazis or some shit like that. And I was like, well, the reason you have to call out Nazis versus alt-right isn't because the alt-right are good guys, which is something Trump kind of implied. I recall in one of his like his thirds, he made like fucking 3 or 4 different speeches, including some Twitter comments about it. It's not because the alt-right are good people, because they're not. It's because when you call everyone a Nazi, like say me, or I listened to Ben Shapiro. He's been like an Antifa chick like called him Nazi once, and he was like, "What gave it away? The yarmulke?" And the reason that it's important is because when you just throw around the word Nazi, which people on the far left have been doing constantly for God knows how long, it's literally it's figuratively the boy who cried wolf. Like, my initial response was, it was probably just some people fucking like saying a bunch of dumb shit and just expressing themselves. They probably weren't Nazis, and I was wrong. They were Nazis, and they were there, and we've had the discussion on the Robert E. Lee statue here. I don't see it any differently except for, the rally turned into a riot. But like, I don't have a problem with the president's initial, like, it was kind of weak, but the president's initial statement where he was like, I'm calling out violence on all sides and no one deserves to be attacked for their beliefs. I didn't really have a problem with that. Like,
no, I agreed with that.
I heard people later say, like, yeah, that's fine, but it is important to call out when there's actual Nazis and actual like KKK members and stuff like that down there. I don't know how heavy the KKK was down there, but
David Duke was there,
and I'm fine with that. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. But the part where he's pointing out that there was violence, like, coming from multiple sides, and that it wasn't like I said, I think people think that the counter protesters were just like some quote unquote right thinking citizens who were there to show the Nazis that they won't stand down for it. That's not what was happening. What was happening was one group of violent assholes showed up to fight another group of assholes who were prepared to also be violent, and apparently one of them was prepared to murder. And all that happened was, like, this wasn't white supremacy showing its ugly head in the United States of America. What it was is what happens when identity politics reign. When you start telling people that you're special because of your fucking skin color, because of your fucking gender, your fucking whatever it is, your religion, whatever it is, when you start telling people that you're special and you've been oppressed because of blah, 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 whatever. This is what happens, because now you got a bunch of fucking retarded, like, slow white people who do feel like, and don't get me wrong, being a straight white male, that's all you hear about is how you're the fucking devil. That's true. It's not exactly the same as being oppressed, though.
No.
Like, it
depends on where you're at.
Well, it depends on your situation, like, but I'm saying it's disconcerting, but it's not exactly oppression either. But you have a lot of people who are down on their luck. This is how the Nazis actually originally came to be, because like Germany was in dire straits after World War I, and you had like a charismatic leader who was like, look, why are you out of a job?
Follow me.
The Jews, like it's these different groups of people, and like there was a lot of slow people who were just like, yeah, it's not my fault that I haven't learned a skill. It's because of the fucking Jews. And that's how the Nazis took place. And that's what's happening here. Except it's not just white people. It's not just white supremacists. It's happening to a lot of different people with a lot, whether they're fucking gay, transgender, black, Black Lives Matter. That's why, Black Lives Matter has done some forceful things. I don't think they've done anything outright violent, because the guy that shot the cops, he was certainly inspired by Black Lives Matter, but I don't know. It's dicey territory, but certainly what they're doing, like now you're seeing Marshawn Lynch is joining that fucking dipshit Colin Kaepernick, and it's like, you're not oppressed.
You make millions of fucking dollars to catch a football.
If you combine the wealth of every black football player in the league currently, they could probably buy the United States of America. Maybe
right?
Not, but they could definitely buy fucking Canada. I mean,
or Rhode Island.
Or Africa.
But then we've missed the rains down in Africa.
That's right.
But like they're fucking that the cunt that Kaepernick's dating was like, like the NFL's it's like they're run by like they're slave owners. It's like I don't know if you are familiar with the history of slavery, but a lot of people were beaten, raped, and died under slavery. They weren't millionaires that drove fucking Ferraris. That's a fucking, and the fact that's what surprised me most, that black people didn't lose their minds when she said that. That well, there are actually black people out there that were like, I really wish Kyle were here, because I'm very curious. I'm sure Kevin would agree with me on this for certain, for sure. how fucking insulting it is to suggest that Marshawn Lynch and Colin Kaepernick are akin to slavery. It's fucking insane. Somebody said, like, sign me up. If that's slavery, sign me up. And fucking me too.
For real.
I'll fucking jerk off a white slave owner for you kidding me? For $50 million? Fucking I'll so much dick in my mouth. So much dick in my mouth. It's not even a joke.
That right there is the quote of the day.
It's just it's fucking like, and I was so livid just watching because I'm like, is it just me? Am I the only one who's noticing this shit? And this is what's gonna keep happening. Look, like I mean, I hate like making platitudes like that, like saying like, oh, we all just need to come together. But we really do. But we need to come together, not as races, but against stupid people.
Mm-hmm. Stupid. There you go.
And
there you have it.
Well,
that's the line that we need to get over right there. It's just stupid. This day and age, it's the same old fucking rehashed, beating a dead horse, crying over spilled milk fucking arguments over and over again. The whole monument thing. Look, a lot of states are now they're doing these things. That they showed that one monument getting toppled over and everything, and I
thought that was horrible.
It is pretty fucked up.
Well, the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, and then what they did to the Lincoln Memorial too.
Well, yeah, it happens. And look, I'm not saying that the Lee Circle is the same as the Lincoln Memorial, but I'm saying when you keep pumping this shit into these fucking retarded kids' head, like they took pictures of themselves with it when they took that statue down. This is what you're teaching them, that not to have respect, not just for the Confederacy, which you shouldn't. Well, like there's certainly things like states' rights that I agree with, but you shouldn't respect the Confederacy. It's gone and it should be gone. But like what you're teaching them is just not to respect anything. When you say Colin Kaepernick has a point, no, he has a fucking point on the top of his fucking head. He's a fucking moron. He was lazy. He was pissed off because he's not like a real he's a real football player, but he's not being benched because he's not good anymore, which is why he's not on a fucking team. And they're just like, oh, he's just trying to make a political point. He's trying to draw attention. Now, how the fuck does interrupting football make people sympathetic to black men who, by the way, are largely criminals? Not all black men, obviously. Somebody's gonna fucking. You're saying fucking all black men? No. The ones that shot, most of them actually were committing crimes. Not all of them. Philandro Castile, the guy in Minnesota that was shot by the Asian cop, that was an unjustified shooting.
Agreed.
That was bullshit and shouldn't have happened. But most
that lady was shot by a cop too.
What lady?
Just was a couple weeks ago when she wasn't black. She was a white woman. Just shot by a cop because she called 911 because someone was breaking into her house.
Yeah.
She was wasn't she an immigrant? Wasn't she like Scandinavian or something like that?
But she was pale as shit.
I think she was rich. But
all I know is if you call somebody, you call a cop, but the cop tells you to stay inside and you come outside.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Shooting though.
No one listens to direction.
Yeah, there you go.
No one listens to direction. If you could put a sign here that says, "Please don't touch this button. It will light you on fire." People with this button, they'll push it. They're fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. One
thing that really pissed me off, and I've seen really smart people or people that I respect, like Hannibal the Beat Animal.
Awesome.
This. But it's been pissing me off is like I've seen a bunch of people posting like basically when your white friends or your right friends whatever have a problem with this, and they'll post a picture of Colin Kaepernick sitting during the national anthem, but they're also saying they're saying like he doesn't have a right to this, but Nazis have a right to speak, like tell him to shut up. And I'm like, that's not what anyone said. No one said that Colin Kaepernick can't speak or that he doesn't have a right to do what he's doing. We're saying he's an asshole.
Right.
And we're also saying that the Nazis have a right to speak because it's a free country, but they're assholes too. It's not different. It's not
you can't have one side with rights and the other side without rights. That's exactly what you're saying that happened to you, that your rights aren't being supported. Well, everybody's got the same fucking rights, but you just don't have to like what the other side's doing. That's fine. It's your right. You know what my right is? My right is to every time someone fucking turns this shit on the television, for me to turn it the fuck off. Or if someone brings it up to me like they did, was it 2 days ago, day before yesterday, maybe. I go into a house to do some work. I get called, as I do, to go to a house. It was something to do with, I think, a leaking kitchen sink. I go in there to address the issue, and the guy made an offhanded comment at me. They were a little bit darker than I was, and he said, "Oh, I guess the one guy I was talking to is absolutely fine." This guy comes down from the upstairs and says, "Oh, long hair. He looks the type. Nationalist."
What?
And I looked at him. I looked at the other guy, and I said, "Find yourself a fucking plumber." And I left. So they called my office and said that I didn't do my job, and they called me in. So I went to the office, and I said, "Look, this is what happened. Well, I think you need to go back." I said, "I am not going back there. That fucking house can flood for all I give a fuck. And I'm not going back here. I wouldn't, if that guy was standing there on fire, I wouldn't redirect the leaky sink to put him out."
Dude, that's pretty fucked up to say something like that to you.
That was fucked up. But that is what's going on. Yeah. And I was like, this is why staring at the fucking news, feeding the flame, and following everybody like fucking sheep, this is what happens. Yeah. I was as nice as I possibly could. "Good morning. How you doing?" I don't care their color. I don't care about if they're fucking gay.
No, you're there to do a job.
If he came to the door in a dress, I didn't give a shit. I'm there to do a job.
You would have looked at his ass, though.
But
the idea that the RumGuy is a white nationalist. I mean, do you know how many black dicks he's jerked off?
Right?
It's fucking just no.
Dude, his wife alone just eliminates that. Right? She's Russian and
Mexican.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although it is kind of messed up that, sometimes he dresses her up like Pocahontas and ties her up. It's
it's the land of the lakes Indian. I make her sit there and hold sticks of butter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Even I'm aroused now, Ron.
Well, I have
that's insane.
I have two statements to make. One is I was really pissed off this morning at the guy on the radio. I don't remember which fucking guy was that was talking. He was like talk radio this morning. But he mentions today that he believes that it was all, the quote unquote white supremacists and whoever those people were, their fault. It was all their fault. And they caused all the violence. They did all the stuff. No, don't get me wrong. I think both sides are fucking idiots and they're both wrong. But he wanted to blame just the one side. And he said these guys came with guns. They came with shields. They came with all this stuff. And, they were ready to incite violence. And the first thing I thought was, there was not one person shot during this.
No, they some of them had bats and helmets, from what I understand.
Oh no, they were full. They were actually locked and loaded. They actually had guns. I watched the show Vice that actually was from there, and they had a bunch of the guys. They had one guy who had 6 guns on him at the time.
Okay, all right.
So
I heard about the bats and helmets.
Yeah, they were ready. Like they were militarized basically. But not one person was shot. One person. Well, I mean, one person was killed, but that was because of a car. But but there were several hundred people in hospitals due to rocks, locks, and mace, all done by Antifa.
Right, because they're a black bloc group. That's what. And by the way, black not as in. Not nigga black, but black bloc BLOC. They have specific tactics.
Right.
They'll fucking put like shit in bottles and throw it at you.
Yeah, and piss in like balloons and stuff.
They kind of like at the zoo in the monkey cage.
They look like monkeys.
They at you.
But what they do is it's actually somewhat similar to like the shield locking formation that the
like Spartans.
Yes.
Yeah. What they do is they come in as a block, and they grab at any loose person that they can find that they're attacking, and they drag you into the group, and then they beat the shit out of you, and no one can get to you because they're in this tight knit group.
That's
but they've hit people like here's the thing, like you can point this out. The white supremacists actually did murder someone and put like severely injure 19 other people. But the fact that Antifa didn't kill anyone isn't for lack of trying. When you're throwing bricks at people's heads
and locks,
it's actually kind of a miracle that no one has died, you know, because they set fires. They do all kinds of fucked up shit. They are an actual terrorist group. And don't get me wrong. At this point, it's kind of hard to argue that those white supremacist groups aren't, you know, essentially a terrorist group as well.
Right.
But, you know, like look, and the thing is, like when you say things like that, people go, "Oh, well, you're just a Nazi." No, fucking if every person who was at that rally, for or against, was in jail, I'd be like, job well done.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm not for either side. I was just pointing that out. Like, I'm kind of like, guys, you know, they were fucking throwing piss and, you know, spraying them in the face with mace and doing all this shit. If you do that to anything, eventually they will attack you back. You know what I'm saying?
Again, either side had a stick and they were poking each other.
Exactly.
I mean, it was inevitably going to boil over at some point.
And
well, anytime Antifa shows up, it's going to be a riot. That's what they want to do. That again, black bloc tactics. They're not there to peacefully protest.
Right.
They're there, you know, like when Berkeley happened, there were peaceful, you know, albeit like insane leftist protesters. But the people who started the violence, who turned it into a riot, were Antifa.
What happened to the fun protesting where people just show up naked and, you know?
Oh, those are called feminists.
I miss those ones now.
No, those aren't fun because nobody gets jerked off at the end of those.
No, they just stand there naked screaming for no reason.
Everybody idealizes like the 60s and the 70s. Like, at least as far as like the white teenagers. Like, those people weren't showing up because they believed anything. They were just trying to get somebody drunk and fuck them. Like, let's be real. Like, when you tell a guy like you want to go to this rally and you know fight for human rights, they're like, look, I got shit. There's gonna be pussy there. All right, let's, you know, can you? I have a bandana. Do you have a guitar? Let's go. Let's go, Moonbeam.
Yeah, let's do that type of protesting again because that was a lot better.
Well, here's my other statement I wanted to make, and people are going to think I'm being a smart ass about this, but it's not. Take our show, and you guys could actually learn from this. Not y'all, I mean like everybody else, all these assholes out there. We're all different people on this show. Far different. Yep. Like every one of us is a different, you know, we got two black guys that want to kill white people. Just kidding. I'm just so joking. Anyway, we got I hate people. Adam completely hates people and is gay. Rum,
I beat you to it.
I know you did. Damn it. But no, just like I'm saying, we're all different. We all come from different walks of life, and we all get along and love each other. But we just, you know, sometimes we rub each other the wrong way. But we don't fucking like.
No, that's why we're angry. We're not fucking.
We don't know. You know what I mean? We don't freak out. We don't fuck.
Sometimes we rub each other the wrong way, but we don't fuck.
And I'm just trying to make a point that we're all from a different, you know, sect of life, and every one of us get along fine. If more people would be like us, even though we all have opposite opinions about different things, we don't fucking decide, oh yeah, well you're fucking wrong, and I'm gonna throw a brick in your face. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ron.
I was gonna say that's a really good point. I mean, we all don't agree. You're right. We at times there's things said and we all don't agree, but we can sit and talk about it and still have a civilized conversation without it escalating into violence.
And we all end up still being friends. People have forgotten
how to do that, or don't want to do that anymore, or were never taught how to be social because they grew up with a fucking smartphone.
Well, I hate to shit on y'all's point, but I actually disagree with that completely. I think we have different opinions on certain things and different tastes. I mean, you know, I like cool shows like One Tree Hill, and Rum likes the Virgin Diaries. But But the common thread, like, you know, I mentioned earlier, like, I think Kevin would agree with me with whatever the fuck I said. I think it was about slavery. The common thread is that we're actually are, like, as far as our values, we are all similar people.
Well, to that, values, because we grew up right.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
what I'm trying to say is
earning things and hard work, and that's what, like, the various skin colors that we have is less because that is irrelevant. It's actually the type of person you are that defines who should be around you.
Right.
You know?
But what I'm trying to say is the fact that these people that are out there right now that are fighting, they're not fighting because they're like-minded people. They're fighting because they're black and white, is what I'm saying. So
I don't think there were that many black people with the thing. That's the hilarious part. All the black people were like, yeah, punch Nazis. I'm like, I don't think there were any black. I think there was all like dumb white kids.
But you know what I'm saying. You know, I'm not, and I agree with you to a point that we're all, you know, like-minded people, but we do disagree on a lot of things and a lot of points, and we're all still friends in the end. And we're not fucking at each other's throats. We're not fucking, you know, being ignorant like that. And I just think people, if they would look at more of like groups like us and like other people that we know, maybe they could learn a little something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like the fucking why can't we all just get along dude, but it's true.
Rodney King.
Yeah, I know who said it. I'm just saying.
You totally remind me of Rodney King. I was just gonna say. Rum looks a little like Reginald Denny.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he's been assaulted about as many times as Reginald Denny was. But you know, it was funny when you said everyone's gonna think I'm an asshole, and you started talking. I was like, is this motherfucker about to tell people that, like, if more people listen to our show, the world would be a better place?
You know, I should have started off with that. That'd have been a lot better. Damn.
Yeah. You know, if you want the world to unite, they should start listening to the Metal Hand of God.
That's right.
You know, we could use the numbers, frankly.
No,
I got one name that'll make things all better.
What's that?
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. Well, we heard that in a long time.
I don't even know if you can listen to that episode. It's so old.
You can listen to every single episode now. They're all up.
You know how fucking long we've been doing this that half the people listening are like, who the fuck is Reggie Bush?
Reggie Bush! Yeah.
But anyway, we got to have something else to talk about.
Oh, we do. I got some, actually got some music news.
Oh, cool. What you got?
Let's see.
I still had Echo on.
Ex-Guns N' Roses, Journey, Dream Theater members have formed a new group called Sons of Apollo, and their new album or song, actually album title is called Psychotic Symphony. It comes out October 20th. They've got a song on YouTube you can check out, see if you like it. Name of the song is called Sign of the Times.
Nice.
It's actually not too bad. It's pretty cool. Trying to think what else. Plant's thinking about writing a new album, a new solo album.
Nice.
The big thing, which is really exciting, apparently for some reason it made music news. You know the cover of the Metallica Loaded album?
You mean Load?
Yeah, Load. It was called the Blood and Semen pattern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have that now on a hoodie. That's exciting.
Ooh, I could do that for free.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Monica Lewinsky was rocking that like 20 years ago.
And hers had Famous Nut on it.
Oh, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Flea from what is it? Flea from
Red Hot
Chili Peppers. Like 10 years too late, decides he's going to take a strong stance on funding cuts for musical education.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Or, you know, he could just go fucking take Red Hot Chili Peppers on a tour and like raise money for fucking.
Or he could just stop playing music.
Something. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool with the Sons of the Apollo thing, though. I actually checked that song out. It wasn't too bad.
That's cool.
I'm not even joking. That sounds like some sort of gay porn.
It might be.
You never
Google
know.
it.
I mean, you have to look past the name.
Google it.
Check it out on YouTube.
I'm not surprised that someone who is a part of something called Dream Theater came up with Sons of the Apollo.
Actually, Dream Theater is like one of these super techie kind of like a band's band kind of guy. You know,
they were a band for musicians.
I can't stand them. Like, I saw them live once and I fell asleep.
I saw them live at a free concert at Slippery Rock University. Yeah, I don't remember it much.
It wasn't good.
Did you just say Slippery Rock University?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in Western Pennsylvania, Slippery Rock.
It's right next to Sliding Muds.
We used to call it Slimy Pebble. That was funny.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
But when I was in high school, I worked at that college radio station.
Give us the spiel, man. Do the Slippery Rock like station identification.
You going to do the entrance to
the
my
station
show?
identification. Yeah. Go ahead.
Fuck, I don't remember the station identification.
Oh, all right, well, just do your like welcome to the whatever. I want to hear this.
Well, if I had the sound effects, it'd be better. It'd be like I'll have to do my co-host's voice too.
Oh, that's fine. Go for it.
Okay, because my co-host his name was Josh Pierce.
Oh, nice. Oh, this is gonna be
And how
good.
he sounded like
All right.
he'd go, "Hey, I'm Josh Pierce, and I'm Justin, and you're listening to The Bomb Scare." That was it.
Nice.
I'm Josh Pierce.
I'm depressed that I didn't get to hear Josh Pierce. That's so good.
This is a new one by Fish.
Can we look? Oh my God, we need to look this guy up, dude. Let's look him up and have him as a guest.
I think he's dead.
Well, let's look him up anyway.
Hey, speaking of guests, I want everyone out on the Twitter sphere and the Facebooks to at Doug Stanhope and try to hit him up on social media.
Yeah.
Tell him you want to see him on the Metal Hand of God before his show here at the Howling Wolf in September. Is it the Howling Wolf?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, September.
Well, just tell him you want to see him you want to hear him on our show.
Right.
Before he plays in here in September.
Or Kyle could just email him, since apparently Kyle has his email.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, Kyle.
Come on, step it up,
Great,
Kyle.
man.
Step it up. You can come see me perform Saturday night in Homa if you're out there in Homa. We're playing at the Intercoastal Club out there in Homa.
With the band Breach.
Yes.
Very nice.
We're playing with our friends Black Creole, which actually one of the guys from Black Creole works at Bollinger. That's how the guys out there know.
Oh, awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
By the way, I like that you had two of those guys on.
Yes.
And like basically forgot they were on the call for like 40 minutes.
Oh no, we knew they were on there, but me and Kyle were talking. They enjoyed themselves.
Like there's like entire 20-minute gaps before Wayne goes,
"Oh hey,
Zach, what do you think about that?"
Yeah, well, the two dudes that are on it, actually Zach's the guy who works in Bollinger. The two guys that we had on, Zach and Peyton, they're doing our movie thing, and they volunteered to come on because you weren't on, so
yeah, Adam.
They were like, hey, we'll come on and do the coast thing. I said, awesome.
Adam, you're never on.
That's true.
I think that's the other way around. I think Adam's always on and you're not.
No, he's right. I'm always at my Nazi rallies and.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And buying up tiki torches and all sorts of stuff.
That's where we have our rallies. In fact, at our rallies.
At a rally. Oh.
Gotta love the fries.
That's poetic.
It's really. You got to be really careful when you're ordering those chili cheese fries from the black people that work there.
So you only go to the rallies.
Sir,
because
can you hold my hood?
Because you can't go to Checkers because that's racist.
I like the Checkers.
Yeah, well, it's too many colors.
Well, it's just red and black.
Yep, two colors that
Native
the Nazis
American
don't
racism.
like.
Native American racism, reds and blacks.
Anyway, you fucks. We got anything else to say?
No, we just want the world to heal, the people shut up, and the stupid people to die.
Fuck yeah.
Woo-hoo!
I just want to say, share our show, and I'm happy that the RumGuy showed up.
And I want to thank everybody for listening, especially the dudes over there welding their asses off. And if you haven't subscribed to our show yet, do it now.
Go listen to some older episodes. I think you're going to like it. That last one was freaking hysterical.
Dude, before we get off, I just want to say Kyle got me. He got me so good that last episode with the age joke. Like, I forgot me and him were talking on the radio, and when he said that, I just went, nigga. I couldn't help it. He got me. He really did. He got me good.
That's funny.
He didn't have to chop off his foot though.
No, he didn't. He did not. Thank God.
But anyway, that was good. I'm pretty much out of topics right now. I just glad to talk to you guys.
I do want to say,
yes.
I noticed that Travis Hemel announced that his new favorite show is Couch Pilots, also on the Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
I did see that.
Yeah.
It would be really nice if those Couch Pilot guys would send somebody our way.
Right? It'd be cool. It'd be cool.
But, that was it.
Okay, good. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining us. This is the end of the show where we tell you who we were, but you guys know who we are anyway. But I'm Wayne.
The Brown Fiora.
And the RumGuy.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to keep it
Bomb Scare is a trademark of Slippery Rock University.
You fucking moron.
That's it.